Hey, hill climbers. My story goes all the way back to when I was in college, and I have never liked to eat lunch or eat much during the day at all. Instead, I would drink coffee and stay super caffeinated, so I would have a lot of energy to get through my classes. Actually, I taught fitness classes as well. To get through that, I just wanted to stay amped up on energy. I also believe that there was a little bit of self-image issues there. I was afraid of getting fat. A little bit of just other stuff going on mentally. So I got into this habit of never eating lunch. Well, fast forward, 15 years later, and I'm a mom, and, I still have got the caffeine thing during the day, and now it's, my daily Starbucks is my lunch. And I've got kids, Nikki, who was at the time 6, and Jack at the time was 5, and they started to ask me questions about, what was that drink I was drinking, and then they would ask me things like, Mommy, why don't you eat lunch with us? Or, Mommy, we don't see you eat during the day, or, why don't you eat lunch? And I realized that I found myself telling them little lies and saying, oh, no, Mommy does eat lunch, because I want what's best for my children. And I started to realize that what I was doing, I obviously wasn't good, because I couldn't be truthful with my children and say, Mommy doesn't eat lunch, because then my concern would be then they don't want to eat lunch. And you got to eat lunch. It's nutrition. You've got to have your nutrition. But for me, I had issues around that. So I started really realizing I had issues, and I had a problem. Whereas in the past, every time someone, brought it up or, mentioned to me, maybe I have a problem, I was in constant denial, and I would get extremely defensive. So people just close to me just stopped bringing it up and stopped asking me to lunch, because they knew I wouldn't eat. But anyway, so I slowly began to realize that I had a problem, but I didn't know how to solve the problem. Fast forward again, and I started seeing this thing on Facebook about Shakeology and, Beachbody and these workouts. I taught fitness classes, as I mentioned, and finally one day, after about a year of watching the posts and everything, I said to my coach, I said to Melissa, come on over and bring that shake thing. Well, she brought it, and the first thing I said to her is, I need to see the bag. Let me read the back of the bag. Because although, I had these issues around food and tons of issues, as you can see. So I read the back of the bag and realized that the ingredients were everything that I would buy from Whole Foods. There was nothing I couldn't pronounce. There was no preservatives. And so I said, okay, this is great. I said, let's make it. There's nothing in here that I wouldn't drink daily. So we made it, and from that day on, I never had my afternoon Starbucks, my afternoon caffeine. So for me, my life has changed. I now have replaced empty calories, caffeine, my children questioning why I don't, like normal people, sit down and eat lunch with my daily dose of dense nutrition. And I say to my kids, this is my lunch, and it can be your lunch. If you'd like it to be your lunch, it can be yours as well, or it can be your snack. But this is, Mommy chooses to have this nutrition. It's one of the healthiest things I can put into my body. And these are the ingredients, and these are the reasons why, and I really enjoy it. So I'm extremely grateful. And, my children's life has changed because, this was 3 years ago. And, now with them being 9 and 10 years old, they're smart. They would really start to see things. And I can only imagine the issues that I could have possibly passed down to my daughter. And so I'm grateful that I am that positive influence. I am that healthy person that I've always wanted to be my whole life from the inside out. I never wanted to hurt myself in some of the things that I was doing to my body to maintain a certain image that I wanted to maintain. So, now I don't have to. And the only thing now is I, have panic attacks that something might happen to Shakeology. And then what would I do? Would I go back to my old ways? What would I do? So that's my story. I plan to refine it. I plan to get it crystal clear. And I thank you for listening to my first attempt at it. I also plan to get a little more real with it and share some more things with you guys at some point, and to my team at some point. So thanks for listening.